Let's go to the second belief and where I learned that. And honestly, I learned this one in multiple different places. The next job I had after the Virginia District Manager was the Vice President of Strategy for Train North America. And I pulled a team together of disparate people. We didn't know what we were doing, but we created an Enlightened team that had incredible results. I also saw it in the Roanoke office. Some of you know David Smith. He built a team that he truly focused on building an Enlightened team. He didn't know what that was at the time, but that's what he did. And he moved a team that was making or selling about $400,000 a year to $4 million a year within about 3 years. So I've seen it happen. The example I want to tell you today is a little more local to here. It's Roanoke Community College Access Program. And if you think about that, what that is students who graduate from high school who are prepared to go to college but cannot afford to go to college. We're going to pay for it. We don't give it to them for free. They've earned it, and they should be going, and so we should be paying for it. It is a no-brainer when you think about it. We're giving people hope in high school that before didn't have it, and so when they have hope, what? They're going to work harder. We're going to have a higher graduation rate. We're giving cities a higher quality of contributing citizens because we have a higher graduation rate and we have a higher level of workforce. Certainly the individuals and their families are a huge impact or positive impact to this. And businesses, we have a greater workforce for them to work on. And believe it or not, even in these challenging times, our industrial businesses are having a real challenge with getting a qualified workforce. This is a real no-brainer. So why isn't it happening more often? There are states that have tried to do this, cities, counties. It's tried. It's not a new idea, but rarely has it really happened. But it happened here. Why did it happen? It happened because they started by building an Enlightened team. They didn't know it at the time, but they brought together all of these people, all of these entities, public and private, business and individual, city and schools. Some of these things that tend to conflict with each other came together in one room. And since we needed the resources from each one of them to be successful, if we didn't make it one team, we would have the same failing as everybody else that tried this because it would tend to be conflicting. Instead, we started with one team. Everybody in the same room, 30 people around the table, and we first gave culture clarity. We gave the understanding of where we're going together, what we're going to do together, and how each of us needed to treat each other and behave together. That culture clarity I talked before. So an Enlightened team, the first ingredient of an Enlightened team is culture clarity, that thing we've already talked about. The second ingredient that we did in that team meeting was individual contribution. We walked person by person all the way around the table. David Carson, you were there. We walked all the way around that table, and every individual, no matter where they came from, talked about what they could do to make CCAP happen, their strengths and the role they played to make CCAP happen. That's the second ingredient of an Enlightened team, individual contribution. As we're doing that, every other member started to recognize the importance of their teammates, what I call teammate contribution. So as we saw the individuals stating what their strengths were, the team started to see why we needed each and every member on that team. I can't do this alone. I need those people to get that done. And so that's the third ingredient, team contribution. When you put those three ingredients together, you will create an Enlightened team. I've seen it happen over and over again. And you will create incredible, superhuman results, which is exactly what that team did. For something that has rarely ever happened, the idea is not new, but it's rarely ever happened, that team, from the day they left that meeting to the day CCAP was running and gunning, was less than 9 months. Truly unbelievable. But even more unbelievable, we have 300 kids today. One of them your daughter. 300 kids today that are getting a college education who would not be getting it 2 years ago. If you get the chance, and I was there a month ago, if you get the chance to be with those kids, you will be blown away. You will be inspired about our future because these are kids who are working their tails off. They don't think they've gotten something for free. They think they've gotten a huge blessing they need to pay back. And they are working their tails off. 85% of those kids are some of the greatest kids I've ever met in my life, barring my kids. And I was walking out of that room completely inspired about where our valley is going. So superhuman results for sure as an example here for the CCAP program.